Overflows.
What happens in the moments of awakening? Awakening happens through the process of meditation. In meditation, sometimes you feel a sort of emptiness that is not really emptiness, therefore, I call it just a sort of emptiness. When you are meditating for a certain moments, for a few seconds, you will feel as if thought process has stopped. In the beginning, these gaps will come, but because you are feeling as if thought process has stopped, this is again a thought process, a very subtle thought process. What are you doing? You are saying inside, the thought process has stopped. But what is this? This is a secondary thought process which has now started, and you say this is emptiness. You say now something is going to happen. What is this? Again, a new thought process has started. Whenever this happens again, do not become a victim of it. When you feel a certain silence is descending, do not start verbalizing it. Otherwise, you will deny it. Wait. Not for something, simply wait. Do not do anything. No need to say anything. This is it. This is emptiness. The moment you have said, you have destroyed it. Just look at it, penetrate into it, encounter it, but wait. Do not verbalize it. What is the hurry? Through verbalization, the mind has again entered from a different route. And you are deceived. Be alert about this trick of the mind. This emptiness happens for the first time. When this emptiness happens for the first time, something really happens to you. Something that is indescribable. You cannot express it in words. Different experiences have been mentioned by different ones. Sometimes someone tells me he or she feels this happening or expanding, feels like this expanding and merging into the cosmos, feels as if earth and sky are merging into one another, and so on. Sometimes feels that the mind is expanding and merging into the cosmos or the stomach and things like that. Want to share one moment that happened between a 20th century mystic Lalaji and his Sheikh Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan. One winter night, it was raining cats and dogs, thunder, lightning, hailstorms. So, to his deepest core, Lalaji was approaching steadily towards the room that he had rented near the room of Naqshbandi Sheikh Maulana Fazl Ahmad Khan. Lalaji was shivering as he passed in front of the door of the Sheikh, who himself was waiting for someone dearest to him. His door was open and eyes were waiting. Seeing Lalaji, Sheikh was in a state of confident awe. He was certain Lalaji will come. Yet out of awe, Sheikh said thunder, lightning, storm, and still you came? Thunder, lightning, storm, and still you came? A deep loving energy entered Lalaji from head to toe. This happens sometimes when you are coming in the company of the Master for the first time. A state of deep illumination within instructed him to go inside, change, and come and sit near me. He prepared fireplace. Lalaji sat next to the sheikh on his bed in deep meditation. The meditation session continued for nearly 2 hours. By then, the storm has subsided. It seemed as if the outer storm symbolized the inner storm, the storm of turmoil, the chaos, the misery, the conflict. This always happens in case of almost all the seekers, but in different ways. Sheikh instructed Lalaji to go home now as the storm has subsided. On reaching home, Lalaji did not have dinner. Instead, he went to rest straight. As if a deep silence and serenity has surrounded him, this, this silence or serenity is an expression of inner emptiness. This silence or serenity is an expression of inner emptiness or echo. Early at dawn, Lalaji had a vision. A throne descended from the heaven. Seated on that throne was a hoary-headed mystic bearing, wearing a long silvery grey beard, illumined as if he was embodiment of illumination. Sheikh Fazl Ahmad Khan presented Lalaji to the throne and the mystic. Lalaji was accepted, saying his life is for the entire humanity, for the benefit of the humanity. When next day Lalaji mentioned this to the Sheikh, raising his hands in deep meditative gratitude, uttered, "Let it be so. This is the dawn of new awakening." And also he mentioned, whenever you used to pass in front of my room and pay respect in deep gratitude, the energy field used to flow and you was being nourished by that. Sometimes knowingly and or unknowingly, a subtle energy field surrounds you as if somebody is guiding you through those moments. Another such incident Lalaji mentioned. One afternoon, both Lalaji and Sheikh was strolling along the lonely road outskirts of the city where they lived. Along the way, Lalaji was narrating his deplorable financial condition to the Sheikh, and Sheikh was listening with rapt introspective attention. Rapt introspective attention. As they reach a culvert, a tunnel, like a structure allowing the water to flow under the road, a kind of bridge. On reaching the culvert, the Sheikh placed his hand on the shoulder of Lalaji and said, "Let us return." It was a moment of gap between two states of consciousness. It was a gap between two states of consciousness, inner and outer, two aspects, or incoming and outgoing breath, two aspects of breath movement. During this process, there are two gaps, one inside and the other outside. As breath touches the nostril, to begin its inward voyage. Inhaling, that is, there comes a moment when the breath reaches the solar plexus. Let me first explain the function of solar plexus within. In breath movement, solar plexus acts as a central hub or the storage for the energy. Also, it is crucial for regulating breath and emotional responses. It helps in regulating breathing and emotional responses. It is a nerve center that relays signals between the gut and the brain, thus influencing automatic bodily function like breathing and blood pressure. When the solar plexus is functioning well, it allows for a smooth, deep breathing and a sense of groundedness or inner connectedness. When this is blocked or strained, it can lead to a shallow breathing, anxiety, and a feeling of being disconnected. When the incoming breath reaches this hub, there is a pause or a gap. Breath does not move. Instead, all movement ceases. There is a gap, or as we call a miss of a note in music. Sometimes this miss is knowingly or sometimes unknowingly. But here it happens as an automatic process. First, the breath pauses, a gap comes, then slowly and gently the breath takes a turn before beginning the outward movement. The gap is within. This gap is within. As the breath begins its outward movement or upward journey, along the way, breath nourishes each energy vortex along the way. Finally, reaches the nostrils. There is a pause before outgoing breath merges with the cosmos. There is a pause. These then breath will begin upward movement. There is a gap outside. When there is no life force within, the breath movement inward represents the inner world, and the breath movement outward is cosmos. Both are two sides of one oneness. When Lalaji was going towards the culvert, narrating his financial and other state to the sheikh, the world was with him, as if he was breathing out the dualistic world of objects and beings. And as soon as both reached the culvert, and the sheikh placed his hand on Lalaji's shoulder and instructed to return, Lalaji entered a different realm. The world and all its dualities vanished. All his worries, misery had vanished, and bliss descended. And that remained as illumination with him for the rest of the life. I have to pause now, but shall come back with more such moments with other masters and those seekers who have attained to this state. Enough for now.